Okay, back to the laws of Kiddush.
Let's walk one Kiddush.
Okay, yesterday we were discussing biblical Kiddush, rabbinic Kiddush. The verbal Kiddush is biblical, the rabbinic Kiddush is over a cup of wine. Okay, now you're allowed to make Kiddush earlier. Okay, technically you can make Kiddush before Ma'ariv also, even though it's brought down in halacha, it's better not to. But halachically, if somebody needs to, they could make Kiddush even before Ma'ariv. Now another thing is, you're not allowed to eat or drink anything. You're not allowed to eat or drink anything before Kiddush. Which means, as soon as a woman lights Shabbos candles, for her it becomes Shabbos, so she can't eat or drink until Kiddush.
Even if she's thirsty?
Even if she's thirsty, she should take a drink before. Now, the same thing, a man, once he accepts Shabbos, let's say if they bring in Shabbos early, or as soon as Shkia, sundown comes, so automatically, for him, Shabbos begins. So you're not allowed to eat or drink anything, even water, until the time of Kiddush. Kids under bar and bas mitzvah, halacha says, they are allowed to drink and eat before Kiddush. They are allowed to, obviously you have a 12-year-old boy, you're going to tell them not to, but halachically they're allowed to eat or drink before Kiddush. And the reason for that, it's interesting, what halacha the Alter Rebbe brings down, why is it allowed? Why isn't there a mitzvah of chinuch, of educating the child, that you don't eat or drink before Kiddush? So we find a similar thing. A parent is not allowed to give a kid forbidden food. No, a parent is not allowed to give a kid, even the youngest of ages, you're not allowed to give him forbidden food. But let's say a kid needs to eat on Yom Kippur, a parent can give him food. Why aren't that called giving him forbidden food? Yom Kippur you're not allowed to eat. So why are you not allowed to give him food? Why are you allowed to give him food? So the answer is because the food is kosher. The day is not. The food is kosher, it's a kosher food. The day says, the time says you can't eat. So that then doesn't apply. The same thing it says by Kiddush, you're giving him water or whatever to drink, or to eat. So that's kosher food. The time, meaning before Kiddush, is not the time that they're allowed to eat or drink. So that doesn't apply in the chinuch of kids. So kids, but adults, over bar and bas mitzvah, once the women light Shabbos candles, they cannot drink or eat. The man, once he makes shkia or he accepts Shabbos early, you're not allowed to eat or drink. It's preferable to make Kiddush. What?
If the husband accepts Shabbos early and the wife is not lighting until the regular is 9.
If the husband accepts Shabbos early, so according to the Alter Rebbe, the woman has to accept Shabbos when he does. Other poskim hold that she is not bound by the husband, she could do it whenever she wants. So then it's not Shabbos by her, so she could eat or drink until she lights candles. The only shaila in halacha is a woman bound by the husband's acceptance of Shabbos. The husband is not bound by the woman's acceptance of Shabbos because she brings in Shabbos a candle lighting. The husband has another 18 minutes. But as far as the wife, the Kont Alter Rebbe comes out that the wife has to accept Shabbos when the husband does, but a lot of other poskim don't agree with that. So anyway, but again, if she's not accepting Shabbos, she could eat and drink until candlelight.
What's the redemption for all these drinks that we had after lighting candles?
You have to speak to me privately because it's in the millions. Huh? Okay, we didn't get to Shachris yet, but the same thing. The shaila is, can you eat or drink something Shabbos morning before davening, or do you have to make Kiddush first?
Yeah.
So in the Litvish Sfarim, the Litvish Poskim, they hold you can't eat before davening anyway. But they hold, for instance, women that eat or drink before davening, according to them, they have to make Kiddush in the morning. They have to make Kiddush before they eat or drink. Yeah. One sec. In our world, our circles, we hold that you're not obligated in Kiddush until you daven Shachris. But once somebody daven Shachris...
Stop.
No. Once you did the Amidah, the Shemona Esrei, from then on you can't eat or drink. You can't sit by Kriyas HaTorah drinking water, halachically. People do it, doesn't mean you're allowed to. What? They don't.
Before they eat the Shabbos.
Oh, before nets. I don't hear what you're saying. Loud.
Before they do the Amida, they eat.
Before they do the Amida, they do eat?
Yeah.
The Litvisher?
Yeah, that's me. I'm not next to the law, but I'm pretty sure,
Because the Litvisher usually, after Shachris and Shabbos, they make Kiddush, and they eat, and then they learn a little bit, and then, yeah, but they don't do beef. They don't eat before Shachris. Oh, that's already frying out, because in Shulchan Aruch it says, you can have coffee without sugar. But in the Chassidish world, Lepel, they paskin that until you daven Shachris, once you daven Shachris, then you have an obligation to make it.
The wife's chiyuv is how.
The wife's chiyuv then is not, again, it's not acceptance of Shabbos, it's in davening. So until she davens, she can eat.
Even if her husband drinks.
Yeah, that Kiddush has nothing to do. This is Kabbalah Shabbos.
What about for Sephardim?
I don't know.
Wait, on Friday night, does the woman have to light candles or to start the Sukkah?
Well, you can't, once Shkia comes, she's not allowed to light candles. It's already Shabbos.
Right.
Yom Tov, you can light candles from a pre-existing flame, but Shabbos you can't.
She has to accept Shabbat herself for the whole thing.
Yeah, but it has to be lit before sundown. If not, they're not allowed to light. What?
Having coffee before breakfast of Shachar, the regular day?
No. Before Birchas HaShachar, you shouldn't eat or drink anything.
Why?
Huh? Before brachas in the morning, you don't eat or drink anything. Anyway,
But after the because of Shachar, you can have.
yes. Okay, now the preferable thing to make Kiddush is on wine. Preferably not grape juice. Wine is better than, halachically, wine is better than grape juice, at least mixed wine and grape juice. But lepel, halachically, if somebody can't make Kiddush on wine, they can make Kiddush on grape juice. There's a story in Tavshin Lamed Ches, which was 1977, when the Rebbe on Shmini Atzeres, the night of Shmini Atzeres, had his massive heart attack. Then he had one even more massive in the morning. But, so the Rebbe finished Hakafis in 770. Then they brought the Rebbe upstairs to his room, and the doctors wanted the Rebbe to drink some orange juice. So the Rebbe said, you have to make Kiddush first. The Shmini Atzeres, you have to make, he was in the middle of a heart attack. He said, you have to make Kiddush first. So they brought him grape juice. So the Rebbe said, we don't make Kiddush on grape juice, we make Kiddush on wine. So they brought him wine. Then the Rebbe said, we have to go into the sukkah, because Chabad doesn't eat outside of a sukkah, Shmini Atzeres. So the Rebbe said, we have to go to the sukkah. All these details, the Rebbe said, I'm not going to drink before Kiddush, I'm going to make Kiddush on wine, not grape juice, I'm going to go into the sukkah, and that's what they did. The Rebbe went out to the sukkah, made Kiddush, drank wine, and, huh?
Did he walk or
He walked, they helped him, the doctors helped him, the doctors that were there helped him walk. Huh? No, he walked. Anyway, so you see, the Rebbe, it's known from different answers of the Rebbe. There was somebody in Long Beach that had something very bad happen to his eye. He told it on Living Torah. But I remember when the story happened. He had something very bad happen to his eye. He wrote into the Rebbe. The Rebbe said he should be meticulous to make Havdalah on red wine. Red wine, not great, red wine. And he did, and he accepted it, and did it, and his eye got better. He tells the story a million times. Now, generally speaking, halachically, there's a pasuk al Torah yayin ki yasedaim, which implies that the prominent wine is red wine. So now halacha says it's preferable to make Kiddush on red wine, unless if the white wine is more choshuv, better wine than the red wine. But even then, there is, by Pesach even more so, to make on red wine. But one second. But on Kiddush, normally it's better to make Kiddush on red wine. So now you have another interesting shaila in halacha. What happens if I want to make Kiddush on white wine, but I want to put in a little bit of red to make it red? So the question is, are you allowed to do that? So again, a lot of contemporary poskim say you're not allowed to, because then you're coloring the wine. It's tzereya. You're coloring the wine. which is difficult to understand because there's a rule in halacha that says ain't tzviya ba'ichlin. There's no coloring by wine, by food. You're allowed to make tea on Shabbos, right, or coffee. Are you coloring the water? You're coloring the water. Or if you take some ketchup and put it on a piece of deli, it's a halacha, you're coloring the deli. Yeah. So what that Shulchan Aruch says, ain't tzviya ba'ichlin. There's no concept of coloring. So these people want to say, yeah, but you're not doing it for the food, you're doing it just for the color. But the pearl, it's food. Yeah. But another way of doing it is, instead of putting the white wine first and then adding the red, so then you're coloring it. But if you put the red wine in first and then you add the white wine, then for sure you're doing it for the food. Then you're not coloring the white wine because you're mixing the. If you have white wine first,
you're changing the color of the red wine.
I understand, but here you're doing it not for the taste also, because you're adding to the red wine. You're not pouring white wine into the red wine to make it red. Here you have a little bit of red wine, and then you're adding white wine. You can mix wines.
You make the pink red, you make the red pink.
But there's no coloring by food. That's not a problem.
Is there red wine, Mevushal, non-Mevushal matter?
We'll get to that one second. What?
During a festival on Rosh Hashanah, to drink only white wine.
There might be such a custom. I don't know.
Because red is like
I don't know, maybe. There might be. There's a million different customs all over the place. Now, okay, we have a few minutes. Now, halachically, some poskim write you shouldn't make kiddush on cooked wine, mavushal. Why they hold you can't make kiddush on mavushal? You shouldn't make kiddush on mavushal because we know that if a non-Jew touches an open bottle of wine, it's not kosher. But if it's mavushal, if it's cooked, then it doesn't matter if a guy touches it. Why? What's the difference? Because cooked wine was not allowed to be used to pour on the mizbeach. When they poured wine on the mizbeach, yayin mavushal wasn't allowed to be used because it's not a prominent wine. Everybody will tell you in wine, the wine experts, that wine, when it gets mavushal cooked, it loses the prominence of the wine. So it wasn't kosher l'mizbeach. So it wasn't kosher l'mizbeach, it's not l'chatchila usable. The Alter Rebbe in Shulchan Aruch clearly says l'chatchila you could use yayin mavushal. It was only asur for the mizbeach, but not for kiddush. It still has its prominence. Now, why do people use mavushal wine? In case they have non-Jewish people at the table, people have housekeepers or whatever, or if they have people that are not Shomer Shabbos. So even though today we learn Shomer Shabbos today, it's more tinik shenishba, but people try to be careful that they don't want to have a non-from person touching the wine. Okay, now, if it's a sealed bottle, it doesn't matter. A guy could touch a sealed bottle, double seal, because the cap or the cork is one, and then the foil around it is the second. So it's a double seal. So if a guy touches a double seal bottle of wine, it's not a problem. What happens if it's open and the guy touches it, you can't drink it. What happens if it's an open bottle of non-mavushal wine, but the guy looks at it, he doesn't touch it. So according to Kabbalah, according to halacha, you're allowed to drink it. According to halacha, you can even make kiddush on it. According to Kabbalah, you don't make kiddush on it. In other words, if it's an open bottle of non-mavushal wine that a real mechal Shabbos or a goy sees, al pi Kabbalah, you don't make kiddush or avdallah over it, but it's 100% kosher to drink.
I thought if they see the wine, but you're saying even the bottle, they see the clothes.
Yeah, well, that's the practical aspect of it, yeah.